What's up? Pretty much, I'm guessing you're on this video because you clicked off the other video. I was talking too much, but anyways, we're gonna actually start and make some progress. We're gonna tear into this thing and pretty much start tackling the front end as far as K-member and stuff like that goes. They're still limited on some parts, but we'll go ahead and get this thing up in the air. Alright, that was pretty easy just because somebody's already kind of temporarily put it in there, but here it is, all laid out here. Obviously stock versus what's going in, and huge differences, but pretty much what the setup is. I bought, this is pretty much all of this is almost brand new, or except for the coils, it's all brand new stuff, but it's still secondhand. I bought this AJE K-member with the hardware for $250. I bought these QA1 coils, and there's a printout on it, but it's the 175 pound 14-inch spring. I've seen like most guys run these with the iron block LS stuff, so hopefully that should be good. And then these are QA1s. These were the springs were 60. These are 150. These QA1s are brand new, but the only problem is with the ball joints. QA1's actually special enough to sell you different length ball joints. These are the Fox body A-arms with the Fox body ball joints in it. So these are SN95 spindles, and these are the stock 4-lug spindles. They make the ball joint, not the tapers, that's not different, but the length from the top to where it would start catching is different, because this is shorter than that, obviously. So pretty much these ball joints are longer to accommodate stock spindles. That's just how they were. QA1 sells it, they have a different part number for the shorter ones. The only thing is, when you put these spindles on top of the ball joint, you just need a little spacer underneath the castle nut to the top of the flange there, and they sell kits and stuff like that. I think I'm just gonna make my own, so we're gonna run with that. But all this stuff should work together, the QA1 with coilovers and the arms and the AJE, and I do have the mounts and all that stuff, so we're gonna slap the K-member up in here and then start putting the arms and all that other stuff on. Just slammed the K-member in here last night, put the arms on, and just kind of mocked up one side just so I can hang a wheel on it. And it's working pretty good. Had to trim up there's 4 bolts in the back on either side. I kind of had to just trim it out just a little bit, and I think that's pretty common Fox body practice. So I just used a die grinder and kind of grinded the holes out there and mocked it all up. Got the spindle on there. I got a 98 or just 96 plus spindle on there, and shocks just temporarily mounted up there. So I was kind of stoked because this car came with liquid drag shocks, and I knew they weren't really perfect, but I was like, you know, whatever, I'll just run them, and that's not really the case anymore. Pretty much both of them look like this one up here. Someone grabbed it with a vice grip right on the stainless or the rod part of it and just fucked it all up. So that's a problem. My QA1 sleeves won't slide over because they're really close. Someone just freaking annihilated this with a grinder. I'm guessing they were trying to get their own sleeves to fit over it, and the QA1s are just too small. I bet you with some grinding it would fit, but I mean, these are screwed up anyways. So that's actually oil from one of the shocks, or probably this one. So the seals are just junk. These things are just pretty much straight junk. So I'm using them as mock-up. I went ahead and ordered new fronts, and I don't have any in the rear. The car didn't come with any rear shocks, so I got a set of 4 with hardware. Just went ahead and cheaped out on that. And one of the problems here is when it goes up into the caster plate there, this part, this is a 5/8 part, and this is just a little bit under 3/4 of an inch. You'll put it on there and it's loose. And they sell caster plate spacers with a little neck down shim, and these are China caster plates, so I guess go figure. I'm not really sure. You still need caster plate shims unless you get like the BBK or the RIP ones or whatever they're called, but Yeah, so that doesn't work. I'm gonna have to get the spacer kit part of it. You know, like something like this is like almost $5 a piece at a hardware store. Yeah, so I wasn't even gonna like try and make something work, even though I could. I'm gonna use this for something else. $25 for like a full spacer kit, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So on the bright side here, we have a 98 spindle, 96 plus SN95 spindle, mocked up with the brake rotor on. Works good, as it should, hopefully. Just kind of using this thing as mock-up, but I want to go ahead and we're going to hang a wheel on it just to see how it's going to work. This is just wheels that I've hanging around. I've had these wheels for like almost 4 years now or something like that. They're just 18x8 Mustang wheels from a 2013 V6, I think. And I mean, they're not my favorite, obviously. I don't think they're anybody's favorite, but I think they'd just be like a nice, like, kind of street setup that you can put cheap tires on and not really have to worry about anything. No expensive drag radials or anything like that. So we'll see how they look. So that's what it looks like. The offset isn't, you know, I guess it's not terrible, but it could come out a little bit. Inside here, I can get like, ooh, I don't know, a couple fingers in there. So there's a little bit of room. I still gotta, you know, like, I still need a coil to slide over the strut. But if anything, I could get a little like 1/4 inch spacer. That'd probably bring it off the strut enough, and it works good turning. This is just kind of at the jack under it. I don't know what ride height it is, but I'm guessing it's somewhere where the A-arm's flat. So kind of looks pretty good with a big wheel. I like, you know, the wheels to take up the wheel well. I really would like a 1715 kit on this car, but no, these do good. So I gotta get tires for these. Probably like a 235 in the front, just because it needs to be pretty flat, a pretty flat sidewall. Can't really bulge out because it'll hit those Johnnies in there. So can't really do much without getting my my struts together. Once the new struts come, I'll probably paint up the spindles. I'll probably give in and actually make it look nice, so we'll do that, I guess. Alright, so while I'm waiting for the struts to show up, I went ahead and started working on these shock towers, and they're not as bad as I really thought, but someone for whatever reason still cut out this part and drilled some holes. I think this is like the pattern for the SN95 or New Edge caster plates. So for whatever reason, you know, someone did that. So I'm going to cover it up and made these plates out. They're just going to be able to guide the new caster plates a lot better. And yeah, I got one for the other side here too. Fits pretty good, all cleaned up, so I'm just going to weld them in real quick, and then it won't look like bomb went off up here. Alright, so I got these things centered and welded in, and both sides, and they look pretty good. I did figure out why someone cut this out. It's because of the fixed caster plates. I'm sure somebody was screaming at the video already, but the fixed caster plates place the strut all the way in the back corner here, and you cut it out and then you drill the 3 holes. And I've seen like Maxim and UPR and a whole bunch of guys sell them now, and I finally figured it out the other day, but you know, we're going to go with the traditional style anyways. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And got my really basic shock kit here. They're KYB front and rears. They come with all the hardware. So this should work pretty good. I know they're pretty cheap, but they're brand new, so it works for me. And I got these, I think they're called Steeda Spacers. They sell a whole kit full of these, and I just needed them. And you can change rod height and whatnot with it, but this step fits down on the caster plate, and then you can put your strut through it and you have the proper spacing. So we're going to put this all together and see how it looks. Well, just got the whole front end together here, or at least the struts. And yeah, I gave in and I painted the spindles. And it actually looks pretty good, imagine that. I got the QA1 sleeves over these new struts here, and then I put the QA1 springs. These are 14-inch, 175-pound springs. And then I just put the QA1. They have a little needle bearing deal at the top. Nice anodized everything. Yeah, looks pretty good. Then topped it off with the Steeda spacer kit. All painted up here. Looks pretty good.